Often you hear people talking about buying business class flight tickets or upgrading to a business class cabin by using thousands of points. In order to get that many points, you should get some certain credit cards that would offer you thousands of welcome points. But the trade-off is usually this type of cards charge annual fees. The first year might be okay since banks usually waive the annual fee, but it will not be sustainable from the second year since they will start charging them. Some even have the requirement of minimum amount to be purchased. The more cards you have, the more fees you will need to pay starting from the second year. And if you do not cancel these cards or do not accumulate enough points for flight or upgrade, because you do not have opportunity to fly so many times a year, they will become your burden in long time. If you are having a 9 to 5 job like me and only have like 10 to 20 vacation days each year, or there's no opportunity to take so many flights a year, you come to the right channel. Today I want to share with you how I plan my trip and buy business class tickets for me and my family. Before we start, please subscribe and help grow the channel so that I can share more trips and tips in the future. Let's get down to the tips I have. First of all, if your schedule is not flexible, what you could do is to make your destination more flexible. Google Flights can help you find the right destination. In April, I used it to find the cheap business class tickets from Toronto, Canada to Lima, Peru with Copa Airlines, which cost us about like 1,700 Canadian dollars, which is 1,200 USD, round trip with free stopover in Panama City. Machu Picchu and Panama Canal are both on my bucket list, therefore it was a perfect fit for us. This is the Google Flights. When you open the page, you can search for flights with number of passengers and the type of cabin. For example, let's say if we choose business, let's say for example I want to go to Lima, Peru, so you type here. By the way, you can add, like, for example, let's say if you want to choose some close by airports as well, for example JFK in case, and you can type for example Montreal as well. I think there's like 6 or 7 airports you can use. Same thing here, but in this case we just leave it as it is. So now as you can see, when you open the calendar, it already show up the different price. So for now it seems the cheapest one is 3,000 Canadian dollars. Now if you choose the departure and arrival date, now it gives you a list of all the flights with different airlines. As you can see, the cheapest one is with Copa Airline. In this case, both are 737. And as you can see, this is actually standard recliner seat instead of a lie flat, but it features the in-seat USB outlet and streaming the media to your device. Good deal, because we just specified the February. But in case you want to track the price, you can click here, and then it will save this to the list of track prices. For example, this is a list of all the flights I'm tracking currently, and also you can turn on the email in case the price increases or drops, it will send you an email. So now let's go back and see how we can find the destination with the cheaper price. This comes to this Explore feature of the Google Flights. If you click this one, and now let's just use one person, and then you can leave this empty, and also instead of specifying the dates, you can choose flexible one. So for example, in this case, I want to go to some places in April, so you can choose April and then 2 weeks. And this one shows you the ticket price for all the places. As you can see, going to Colombia is very cheap. If you click this, it will show you the list of flights. And if you click this one, this is the cheapest one with American Airlines, it opens the page with all the options. It looks like this is transitioning in Miami, but it seems like it's a long layover. But this one, yeah, it's even longer. This one is a little bit better. So it's not ideal. So now let's keep searching. Going to Lima with Copa Airlines. See, it's now much cheaper than the 3,000 we've seen. And then we're looking at this Brazil. This is actually not the bad price, to be honest. If you click this one, and you can see the Copa Airlines has a 737 with the standard recliner seat, but from the Panama City to Brazil, it's actually Maxi 9 with lie flat seat. So this is a very attractive, but still the price is not that competitive. Our winner is going to San Diego, $2,377 with Copa Airlines. This was actually cheaper than last time when we went there through Mexico City by taking Aeromexico. Panama City is very nice. You don't need to go through immigration or taking out luggage or rechecking. And they have two terminals connected to each other, so it's quite actually straightforward. The only drawback would be, in this case, both aircraft are Boeing 737 without lie flat seat. The good thing is, because this is the day flight, so even though you cannot lie down and sleep, but still, because it's daytime, recliner seat will be fine. But anyway, you can use this Explorer and flights back and forth to find eventually which destination you want to go. The next thing to consider is the climate or temperature. For example, if we want to go to somewhere during the Christmas, usually people like to go to Caribbean, but it's crowded. But think about South America or Africa or Middle East. Why? Because during the Christmas, they're relatively warm as well, but not to the hottest during the summertime. So as we can see, there are a few options. One is Hawaii. It requires 2 stops, but they're all in the daytime, so it should be fine. The next option is again Lima. This one is San Diego again with Copa Airlines. And we can think about the Europe as well. Lisbon, Barcelona, or Malta. Nice. These are all Southern Europe cities where you can go to. Another good destination would be Casablanca. By taking WestJet and the Royal Air Maroc. Royal Air Maroc is actually the second largest or second best airline in Africa after Ethiopian. So it's still a very good choice with only $2,200. Another places we can look at is Saudi Arabia, Dubai, or even India. They're a little bit more expensive, but considering the total flight time, I think it's still worth it during Christmas. The third thing I want to talk about is sometimes the destination you want to go might not have a discount business class ticket. For example, let's say we want to go to Northern Europe, like Copenhagen, Stockholm, Helsinki, right? So let's say we choose next April again. So flying to Stockholm, Copenhagen, they're not that cheap. 2,500, and this is through 2 stops, Azores or Stockholm, same thing, right? But what you can consider is, what if I fly to Paris? Then I can buy a low-cost ticket with the low-cost carrier, fly to Northern Europe. Usually only takes about 1 hour or 1.5 hours. Paris has 2 airports. One is the CDG, which is the busiest. The other one is Orly. And actually there are a lot of low-cost carriers flying from here. I think Ryanair is on at a different airport, which is even further away from here. But let's say Orly would be a very good alternative. And I know that one particular airline flying there is Royal Air Maroc. And usually they offer pretty good price. So for example, let's say now we select only Royal Air Maroc. And let's say we select April 4th and then come back and on the 18th. So actually there are quite several flights. And they're relatively cheap. And it's actually a good candidate. This actually leads to the next thing I want to talk about is how do you choose the best flight? Because as you can see, there's a stop in Casablanca. Good thing about Casablanca is you don't need to go through the immigration if you're connecting internationally, but you have to go through the security. Another thing to consider is if you expand this, you can see the good thing about this flight particularly, even though it only has 1.5 hour layover, but the next leg is also on 787, which is Dreamliner, with lie flat seat. Comparing to other flights where, yes, you might have a little bit longer time layover, but you will only be on the 737. Same thing with others. And also this one is waiting too long. So sometimes with the similar price, you might want to consider the aircraft. Generally speaking, you want to choose the newer aircrafts when the ticket price are similar. For example, in terms of Boeing, you want to choose 787 versus 777 because 787 has newer engine and it's less pressurized comparing to 777. So it means the air is less dry in the cabin. So when you are flying in the night, especially, it will be easier for you to get into sleep. Same thing with Airbus. Airbus introduced the new engine option, which is called Neo. So anything with Neo, like A320neo, A321neo, A330-900neo, you might want to consider it. Same thing with A350 as well. The A350 is extremely comfortable. But if it is old A330-200 or -300, or if it is A320, A321, A319, those are old aircraft with old engine, that you might find it harder to get into sleep because the cabin has higher pressure. I forgot to mention that same thing to the 737. So if it's 737, 600, 700, or 800, even 900, they were 737 NG. So they were older than 737 MAX 8 and MAX 9. Both MAX 8 and MAX 9 feature the newer engine, so it is more comfortable. The next tool I used is called ExpertFlyer. This is a paid subscription. I paid 99.99 USD per year for a premium service. The good thing for this is you can search for applicable or available tickets. For example, let's say we're actually going to Barcelona in December. Then you do the search and you can see the different flights with different carrier, and each one has like how many tickets left for that particular class. Y usually is the most expensive economy tickets. That is actually one of the cheap business class. You can see in this case there are 3 left. D is a higher or more expensive business class. Sometimes for some airline they're using I. In this case, this is the business class, but there's no more. And then this KL, which is KOM, actually has 3 tickets left. So this gives you also the aircraft type, and you can search for particularly for any airline as well. Also, it includes the seat map. You can see like what are the available seats. The fare information also lists the air ticket price for each class. And also the travel information is you can check like what is the minimum connect time required, and also the interline agreement, such as for example Air Canada, what the partner airlines can issue ticket for Air Canada, as well as the baggage where it can route it. And also there are the visa and passport information as well. So this is a very, very helpful tool, especially that flight availability, because it gives me the idea of like how many tickets are left for that certain discount. So for example, sometimes if you're traveling with like 5 people, but the I class has only 3 left, you can buy 3 tickets first as one in one reservation code. Then you can buy another 2 tickets in D class, which is more expensive, but in that case, on average, you still save some money. Instead of, if you're searching for 5 people, it will only give you the D class option. What I want to talk about is these deals are unpredictable. Sometimes airline just release them without any notice. So the good thing is you set up the price alert, like I first show on the Google flights. So in case there's any discount, it will actually send you an email. I use this when I find Air Morocco introducing new flights from Toronto to Casablanca. It used to be only flying to Montreal, and they actually provide the intro discount as the new route. That's why I took advantage of it, and I'm going to Morocco in December. Again, I also bought the tickets to Paris only next April or coming April, so I'll visit France as well. Another tool I'm using is actually a forum. It's called Flyer Talk. On this premium deal thread or page, you can actually see a lot of community members posting all kinds of different discounted business class or premium class all over the places in the world. For example, you can see this one is from Japan to Europe, 2100 USD business return. Or this one is Copenhagen to Tokyo. And sometimes we have like one-way discount as well. So what you can do is you can sign up and get the notification in case there's any new thread. Since this is everywhere, so it might not be applicable to you most of the time, but still, for example, if you're in Asia or if you're in Europe, you can probably, for example, take a train to the other country or city and take off from that city instead, and you can save tons of money. Anyway, these are the tools I've been using, and hopefully it is helpful for you. If your schedule is flexible, that's even better, as you can use these tools to find even cheaper tickets in off-season. For example, flying to Iceland in September or October is only half price comparing to August. But sometimes you can also find good deals in the shorter seasons. Please consider subscribing and help me grow the channel. And I will see you in next video.